Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Kelly Tiller is a research assistant professor at the University of Tennessee Agriculture Policy Analyst Center. Dr. Tiller has extensive researched the potential of new agriculture products and expanded uses in bioenergy to provide income opportunities for the traditional agriculture sector and rural communities. Dr. Tiller.
Chairman Braley and Ranking Member Davis and members of the committee, thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today. The biotechnology, biofuels, and bioenergy industries have experienced unprecedented growth over the last few years. But I think most industry watchers suggest that the growth we could see over the next few years could make the past growth look like the flat part of an exponential growth curve yet to come. And much of this biofuels growth over the mid to long term is expected to be through the commercial scale development of cellulosic biofuels industries, where cellulosic biomass materials from a wide variety of locally appropriate sources contribute feedstock for a range of technically appropriate biorefinery processes. As Senator Harkin mentioned, a group of my colleagues at the University of Tennessee have recently conducted a study for the 25 by 25 work group and have provided projections of economic and ag sector impacts associated with a scenario where U.S. farms, ranches, and forests would provide 25% of total U.S. energy needs, along with a continued production of safe, affordable, and abundant food supplies. The study estimates that by 25 by 25, we will be producing 86 billion gallons of ethanol and 1.2 billion gallons of biodiesel from America's fields, farms, and forests, including the net addition of over 100 million acres of switchgrass. In total, the economic gains in the renewable energy and ag sectors plus interstate commerce top more than $700 billion by 2025 and support the creation of more than 5 million new jobs. Achieving these levels of biofuels, and particularly cellulosic biofuels, would truly be transformational. Additional policies and goals supporting further expansion of this industry are also in place and under discussion right now. Taking some fairly conservative estimates of the growth in this sector, it could be required between 720 and 1,720 operational biofuels plants spread across the U.S. in less than 20 years. By any standard or goal, the significant advances in commercial scale cellulosic biofuels manufacturing are required with no time to spare. As we progress toward these manufacturing expansions in cellulosic biofuels, there are 4 considerations I think we should bear in mind. First, it is important to recognize that regional approaches to cellulosic biofuels will need to be developed. We need careful assessments of regional feedstock opportunities and comparative advantages to tailor appropriate technologies and approaches for which a region has a comparative advantage. Second, we need to remember that the cellulosic biofuels manufacturing is an emerging industry with a very infant workforce available today. Some workers have skills in other fields that will transfer well to this industry, but we still have tremendous needs, as have been discussed. Third, progressive research programs are imperative. As of today, we do not have a track record of commercially proven technology and business model for cellulosic biofuels in the U.S. We certainly expect that to change very quickly, but it emphasizes the needs for significant investments in research and demonstration. And it's important also that these technologies and processes that are developed in the U.S. be retained through intellectual property that remains in the U.S. Fourth, local ownership provides additional developmental benefits. To the extent that farmers and other stakeholders in local communities can be actively invested and involved in the cellulosic biofuels industry development, they can retain those economic returns in local communities, promoting further investments and improvements in education, healthcare, social services, and as well as economic development. It's important, too, to remember, though, that farms are small businesses as well. Dedicated energy crops produced today are largely research and demonstration in nature. Achieving significant long-term growth in the bioenergy will require widespread development of entirely new crop systems and models and significant educational efforts to spread the knowledge and improve production processes. With regards to the ag sector, I think it's important to recognize that significant research efforts are required to develop these new crops and processes. We are essentially starting from scratch. Significant research is needed in the areas of crop breeding, crop genetics, agronomic practices, crop management systems, harvesting methods, production and harvesting equipment, pre-processing, transportation, storage, risk management, and contracting, to name a few. Second, it's important to note that sustainable systems are imperative. Third, the energy crop solutions as well are very region-specific and must be adapted to local conditions and local communities and resources and infrastructure. How do we support the development of this cellulosic biofuels industry? I believe land-grant colleges and universities have a very important role to play in the development. The three primary functions on which they are built, research, education, and extension, are all critical to successfully achieving the bioeconomy vision. And integrating these functions is necessary for developing a viable and sustainable bioeconomy. The Ag Extension Service certainly has a long and successful track record and can contribute significantly. Investments in research to support this emerging industry are also critical to its success. Training the next generation of biofuels researchers and workers requires tailored graduate and undergraduate curricula that largely still need to be developed and implemented. Thank you again for the opportunity to appear before you today. Certainly bioeconomy growth is on a fast track, but it will not happen overnight. We have the opportunity now to make investments in developing and growing a skilled and sufficient workforce and ag sector for the bioeconomy in a manner that is sustainable and maximizes benefits, especially for our rural communities.